So, again, no segue from that to this. It's totally fine, but I want to talk about Bones, which is actually something we haven't talked about in a very long time, partially because you don't watch it, partially because there really hasn't been too much to say. But one of the thing that I think always really appreciated most about Bones when they do the more dramatic episodes, and it's a weird thing to say that now because if you look at the first 3 seasons, it was a dramatic show. There were like lighthearted moments. It was a dramedy-ish, but it was more of a drama than a comedy. Whereas in season 4 they kind of made things a little bit lighter, and it's been teetering on lighter edge since. But this season, they kind of, the big talking point going into season 8 was we're going back to the dark, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And, I was excited, I was really excited because they had a really great villain last year. They started Blonde, who they carried over this year. They introduced him in the middle part because, last year was a short season due to Emily Chanel's real life pregnancy. And, it's really kind of delighted me how this year that they really have stuck to that. And they've, Blonde's only come in a couple times, but they've still managed to do dark episodes in spite of his absence. But he came back recently, and look, I think there probably has to be some allowing the fact that this guy is almost like, we were talking about in one of our earlier segments about how Seth Gable is such a caricature in many ways. Vertigo is such an outlandish creature in this more grounded reality, and in many ways Blunt is the same way because he's been able to do like the most ridiculous things, like do things on Bones, and just he in the last episode he stole all of Hodgins and Angela's money because the option was either drain their money, either save the money or save a school full of children, because they could either use your resources. I know.
It's like Die Hard.
This is kind of weird to explain this to Danielle on camera.
It sounds like Die Hard.
I have never seen Die Hard. This is where I get shunned.
Anyway, you can continue talking about Bones. I'm just going to be over here judging you.
What else is new? But basically, they could either use their resources to save the kids or save the money, and they're like, well, we can always make money, save the kids, obviously.
Okay.
But Hodgins and Angela. Right, but yeah, it's like...
Kidding, don't send me hate mail.
So many...
I mean, they're not my kids.
Yes, they were kids they didn't know, but still, it's gonna be Hodgins and Angela.
Sure,
it's
and right, they're the good guys on the show.
Right, and to be fair, Booth desperately wanted to get this guy, and Brennan was kind of not opposed to having him get killed, because they started off the episode. This guy is so fucking evil. Again with the language, he drugged Hodgins and Angela's house, where their kid also is.
Oh,
and yeah, and put a body in the canopy above their bed. It's just,
it's kind of awesome.
It was amazing. This is why Ken
awesome.
Messed up. But no, and it's not just a singular moment. But I love when Pallant's injected back. I mean, if this guy was, look, if this was a different kind of show, you might be addressing the fact that this guy is out there all the time, because you would imagine in real life.
Well, but they wouldn't be the ones going out, like, the not to get too,
right, and that's
nitpicky,
the
but
thing.
like with the jurisdiction, they wouldn't be in charge of that investigation, and so
they did means to, so they would still be able to. They manipulated it. And again,
well, I just meant like realistically, they wouldn't be devoting their entire jobs to that. Right. And so when he pops up in their lives, that's when they go after him. I mean, they've done that on procedurals for years.
And it's always been a hit or miss thing. And from what I feel like, because if you have a guy that's truly that bad, it's kind of hard to be like, okay, he completely destroys your life one day, and then the next week it's like, oh, it's not mentioned.
They're working in the background on trying to get.
And I will actually say I was really impressed because they actually did reference it in the. I've lost track of what airs when and when this will go up, but it is referenced later on that we don't have any money anymore, so it's like that's good because like especially
it's not a standalone episode,
right? And because his group actually funded part of the Jeffersonian, so I'm kind of interested to see how that's going to work out. And Heart's teased to me, and it's out in the world, so it's not like it's weird. It's Hodgins going to have a garage sale, and it's just
that's right. That photo. They put a photo up, and it was about the garage sale. Never mind. It doesn't matter. Never mind.
I don't think because it hasn't been.
It was on their social media site.
Oh yeah, my post was. They talked about the post,
but the photo was of the
But okay, we'll deal with that later. But no, I really love Palant. Like it's messed up, and I understand that some fans might be a little bit like, oh my god, he's been around for at this point a calendar year, so it's spread out over 2 seasons. But I'm just delighting in how just ridiculously terrible he is, and I really feel like when there is that big bad serial killer, we see the best in all these guys. I mean, honestly, I think, you know, out of all the characters from the show, I think Hodgins has been the most consistent series-wise. And even then, we've seen him at his most extremes when these serial killers come out. Like, you know, when the first serial killer was out, when he was trapped in a car and thought he was going to die. That was like some of the best work the show's ever done. And this guy, you know, in the premiere, Hodgins was gonna kill him. And it's like, when you get people to kind of move like Hodgins this much, it's always a fascinating thing. And I don't know, I like that Palant makes me excited, which is totally bad, and I get
Not
that.
Really.
He's kind of. I mean, I feel like if you watch these thought things and you see that a lot of the shows are gravitating towards the dark, fucked up stuff,
but it's because
a little bit like.
It's because it's not just that it's dark though. It's the layers that kind of get you to respond that way.
Right.
You know, I mean, yeah, okay, the ones that we've been talking about are dark, but in any strong drama, when you have a character that is so polarizing, like that's what ends up being so interesting.
Yeah.
Because it's the character as they're presented, the way that everyone responds to him, what he brings out in the other characters. I mean, it's just all of that psychological stuff, which, you know, not a lot of shows deal with or deal with often. So when they do it and they do it well, it's that much more exciting.
Yeah. I know. It's just. It's fun. Fox Mondays are dark, and I like it.
Yeah.
That sounds bad stuff. But hey, tag one.
I was gonna say, I think you're just writing their promotional items right now. Like,
Fox Mondays are dark, and I like it. This would be like
maybe next time we'll try to like force ourselves to pick happy, sunny, not dark moments. Maybe, I don't know.